But for now, I kind of want to hang out and talk about just a couple of things with Twitch etiquette. And also, someone asked about Spirit Halloween. I went there today. It was my first time going. I know it's been open for like, what, months now? Literally fucking months. As soon as like 4th of July happens, like Spirit Halloweens are already opening. And people are already like getting ready for Halloween. But I went today. I found some pretty good stuff. I went there and the first thing I saw was this. So this is the new shit that they're adding to Spirit Halloween. First off, he looks dead as fuck inside. It's good, but holy fuck, they could not have picked a more dead inside human being to model for that. Look at this man. I just saw that and I had to hold back cackling in the middle of Spirit Halloween. And there were already girls and a bunch of like teens and, you know, crazy kids like laughing their asses off looking at the other like costumes, because it's just an experience. It's a fun place to go. It's like a toy store. Spirit Halloween is adventure. And the one thing I'm gonna be honest is, like, I remember there wasn't a Spirit Halloween when I was a kid. There wasn't. It started happening in like my high school years. So like when I was like a late teen. The thing about Spirit Halloween is they didn't start appealing to the nerd and geek and specifically weeaboo crowd till like now. Like if you go and let me see if I can get some pictures because they're on my phone. But like I'm genuinely kind of pissed that they waited this long to integrate so much of like the anime and cosplay costumes from all those like shows I watched going through high school. Because I would have just picked up the fucking outfits as is. Like fucking, they have like replica fucking keyblades from Kingdom Hearts that they're selling. Let me see if I can like send these to, oh look at that. Okay, but like this was the quote-unquote anime gaming cosplay section that they had in fucking Spirit Halloween. Why did they wait till like now to start selling this? Like me and my generation got fucked over in all the shit that we wanted. Like fucking Kyrie's Keyblade, you can get that. I mean, minus the Fortnite stuff and, you know, whatever. You got an Assassin's Creed, like Templar brace or whatever. You got the fucking Sora's Halloween town headpiece. And that's not even the rest of them. There's a whole fucking section behind me. So like there's more of that, more cosplay stuff. Like pretty cool. And then you got this whole section dedicated to Naruto. Whole fucking section. You got the jacket, you can get the whatever, the cloak or whatever, you get the mask, executioner's blade, you get all this shit here. This is the first half of the whole column. You can get some masks. I think on the bottom level there's like some bleach masks that you can get for like hollowed whatever his name is, Ichigo, I think. You got that, and then you go to left side and you get all the My Hero Academia stuff. Like, why the fuck did they wait till now to start like selling this shit? Like I would have thrived on this in high school. I would have spent my entire YouTube paycheck, which was like $100 for a year, on just this. The mannequin balls. Okay, listen, we didn't ask for things to be perfect, and of course you would notice that, Draxler. But like, I'm kind of pissed that they took this long to actually like integrate the stuff that we wanted, like the whole nerd culture with the weeaboos and the fucking just Kingdom Hearts fans. Like they waited so long to integrate this shit, and I'm kind of pissed because I thrived on this in high school, and now it's too late for me because I have a thing called Etsy. I could have gotten a fucking butterfly knife if I wanted to, even if it's fake. I can always go and pick it up now if I want to, but again, I have Etsy, and I can probably get a less plasticky, more like less fragile, safe and not breaky version of any of the stuff that I saw there. I'm glad that I went. I might go back, depending on if it's really worth the adventure, which it might not be, but who knows. Okay, here's the thing. I do this a lot, where, like, I'll be watching someone stream, or I know someone, and I watch their streams, or I hang out with them, or, like, I follow them, or, like, I don't follow them, but I watch their content. But, like, here's the thing. Sometimes I forget to hit the follow button, and when they're live and they're doing something and I notice this, like, I want to follow them, so I'm notified, but like if I've known them for a while, it'll come off as weird as I'm just following them now. So what I'll sometimes do is I'll wait till they go offline, or they're completely offline, and then I'll just hit the follow button, and then if they ask later, it's like, oh, I just accidentally unfollowed, sorry. Like, does anyone get that fucking anxiety? Because the way the Twitch recommended works is so fucking weird. It is so weird, because like I'll be interacting and chatting with them, and then they'll come up again, like right below my follower list, and then I'll just like start chatting again, and I'll realize, oh, I'm not followed. And then sometimes I'll get anxiety of like, oh no, are they gonna think that I did the whole soft block nonsense, the Tumblr teen, black out my icon, be angry and passive aggressive with someone? Did I do that? No. Like, I don't want to come off as that. So like, you know, anxieties of being in a community that does that, right? Oh man, thank you, Zenith. At least I'm not alone here. Everyone else is saying like, nah, you're an idiot. What do you mean? What do you mean? No one does this. Yeah, at least I'm not alone now. See, this is just like, it's why I don't sometimes retweet things or like tweet out that I'm doing things with friends. Like I tag them because I just don't want the really fucking weird people following and interacting with them. Because I know like I have some viewers, some people that enjoy what I do, who are on my account on Twitter or whatever, and are just really fucking weird. And I've sort of filtered them out mentally, or I'll just use the mute button. I won't use the block button because yeah, I should just be a bit more like, nope, don't want to deal with that, bye. But like a lot of the time, I just hit the mute button and like, hey, you know, they're still driving my impressions up. That's kind of nice. But like, I'm so used to it where it's just a wall in front of me. I completely just ignore it. I'm so used to it. I understand that exists. But my friends or people that don't have that following aren't used to it. So whenever I tag someone in something, they'll get really weird comments or really weird follows or interactions. They're like, wow, Beta, your community is really weird. I'm like, that is not a majority of my community. That's just the really weird people that are very, very vocal. Like, for example, yet again, we're going over this example again. We've done it on stream before, and we're doing it again. Hate to do the whole, like, not, like, don't show the person's username, whatever. I trust you guys that you won't go to their account, or whatever. But again, like, even if I, like, hit it, you guys would see it because it's a reply to a tweet, to a picture that I posted. And it's just, like, for context. We got a post that I made, like, about a week ago, yeah, more than a week ago, when I was in Seattle, Washington. I was having game night with a bunch of my friends, with Keith and Raiden and Kyle and Nova in the corner. Look at Nova. It's a Nova eye reveal. I love it. But it was a really fun game, and I won, and I just decided to tweet out that we were playing game night. And then, like, a few hours later, I received this comment. This is kind of like one of those comments that I hope just my friends don't have to attract those people when I tag them and stuff. So like, I'm tweeting, oh, game night with my friends, with Keith, Raiden, Kyle, and Nova. Pretty fun. And then I get the reply of like, man, that looks fun. But if I meet Nova, I might cry of happiness because I finally met and would say I finally meet you and my wish came true. Can I hug you and take a picture with you to remember this day? And I would be leaving with tears of happiness. It's literally just Nova's eye in the picture. What does this have to do with Nova? But just like, I know this is an example, and this is like one of those like, why? What? Huh? But like, apply this to any fucking tweet or any fucking post that I make where I tag a friend, where it's just like, why? I mean, yeah, be excited to meet Nova, whatever, cool. But like, what? Parasocial relationships. Hi, Nova, we're going over it again, but this is for a YouTube video. Hi, YouTube. Just the point of this is, the reason why I don't sometimes tag friends, and this is one of the cases where I wanted to, because I wanted to show like, hey, I'm having a good time with my friends, because Twitter, and showing that you only have good times, period. But like, comments like this is what dissuades me from wanting to at least share some of like my community with others, because I don't want people coming over who are like this. I just don't like that. I don't like that at all. You know, it's just, like, what do you even, like, say to this? What do you say to this? What do you, like, do? How do you, like, handle a situation like this? Like, I'm probably not handling it well by showing the reply and the Twitter user. But then again, no matter how much fucking blurring out or, like, blacking out, like, the name and the icon, people will just go and look at it as is. I don't know how to handle this. And quite frankly, I hate how, like, sort of, like, my whole community is labeled as, like, people like this. And that's not the case. I don't know. I'm just rambling on again, but just the point is, please just like, just don't. I don't even know what to say. Part of me just really wants to start blocking, but like, God, I don't know. Just like, I don't know. I guess the lesson of today is like, hey, talk about stuff that's relevant to the post. not about a small thing in it and then like go on your own tangent about how you really want to meet a certain fursuiter. But damn, like parasocial relationships, that's probably the big thing with it. Please, like, don't. We're just people. I'm just sharing my fun times. Please don't put other people, my friends, on pedestals. Also, don't interact with my friends to get to me. That's a weird thing that people do. What makes you mad about that specifically? It's not is it the envy, jealousy, etc. define parasocial? No, it has nothing to do with that. The thing is the reply has nothing to do with the post, and it just comes off as like people that are fans of beta are this way, and they're weird, and they really, really have an issue with like reading the room, not overstepping boundaries, which people have a tendency to do. It's just like, I'd rather just people don't do that. I just want boundaries. I mean, it is furries we're talking about, to be honest. Like the whole thing of like furries and reading the room, you can't have both. You really can't have both. I finally found like an example of it, and you can apply this to several different things. You know, just like when we're, even right now, in Twitch chat, if we're having a conversation about like, you know, something very specific, and you got that one person still asking about what my favorite changed character is, and it's been going on for like 10 minutes. And I know I made the tweet of just like, hey, I know like I've been asking the same question for like 10 minutes. And like, I've been asking in 30-second intervals, copy and pasting it. But like, I just want to ask you again. Can I see your fursuit? How's Maverick? What is your favorite change character? It's like courtesy with regards to the conversation. And that's kind of like why I'm somewhat upset about it when it happens in streams, just in general. Because like in streams, it's just a conversation with you guys. And sometimes people come in and like completely change the conversation for better or for worse, for good or for bad. Today's stream, Beta being a tired dad and giving lessons about general manners. Who knew that I would need to get to the point of doing lessons about general manners? General mannerisms. It's not even like Twitch chat etiquette. It's more like conversation etiquette. But people just like, when it's online, it's a completely different story. I don't know why I even have to go over this. It's somewhat common sense. I think that's the stem of most of those questions that I receive, and those really awkward situations, is just people cannot treat me like a human being. They treat me like I'm some big account online, some big person online, and that my value is more than the average human being, which is absolutely untrue. I'm just as normal and just as average as anyone else. The only difference is I make videos on the internet. I might have made a difference to someone, and that's how parasocial relationships begin in that sense. But as for how you should treat me compared to other people, shouldn't be any different. And I've expressed this time and time again. A majority of you guys, and I mean like 90% of you guys in these streams, do not have this issue. You do not have this issue where you're putting me on a pedestal or treating me differently from others. It's just the people that either don't listen to it or don't know about it that continue to make this happen over and over again. And that's why it kind of just goes of like what I say and what I preach to an extent. I'd prefer to be more so practiced by you guys as well. Like if you see someone doing that, like made a note of like, hey, like just tell them, hey, like it's not really proper chat etiquette. Don't put people on a pedestal in this case. Don't idolize him in that sense. It's making people uncomfortable. It's making them uncomfortable. Just like vocalizing it to these people so I don't have to over and over again. And that's not to say that I'm lazy. It's more so like, hey, the more people that do this, there's more of you guys than there is me. So like if I do this and say like 50, 60 of you in chat, start practicing this when you see this in other people's streams or you see this happening at furry conventions or online, you just make a note of this and tell them as well. That can then be spread to other people. And then we have less of this issue happening. Parasocial relationships are normal. Like that's how it works with media. But when you take it to an extent where like it makes it so that you treat them differently, like drastically differently, that becomes a bit of a problem. And like, yeah, I can get general anxiety in meeting someone that you see online for the first time. That just goes in general, you know? And that's kind of why, like, I know Albin, that's like why you and other like acquaintances or friends want to hang out with me or others, because you like the personality, you like the person. It has nothing to do with what they did online or their following or just that, I don't know. It's just frustrating. But seriously, like, it's just situations with the reply to the game night that just make me feel uncomfortable. And it's somewhat like, yeah, I can understand why people somewhat like simplify an audience to just being that. because I feel somewhat embarrassed when I see that happen. I know it's unavoidable because people will be that way, but like, just like don't make people uncomfortable, even if you love them a lot. Like, yeah, the whole simping meme is a thing, but like, God, it actually does make people uncomfy. Not everyone is like Dream, where they fucking enjoy having just raving children making random hashtags on Twitter to like fight the anti-stans. Like, I don't want that. I do not want that in people that watch me. What you would call fans, you know? I don't like calling people fans because that very much simplifies and somewhat objectifies you guys, like people that view me. That's just not fair. I do not want stans at all. I just want people that chill and hang out and want to vibe here. That's it. And I trust that a majority of you guys want that. Whether you're a lurker in chat or you're someone that's active in whatever conversation we're doing, that's what I want. That's all I could ask for. I don't want anything more. I don't want any sort of like, you're an inspiration, like, I mean, yeah, you can say you're like an inspiration or blah, 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 this and that. Parasocial relationships, yet again, and people making me uncomfy on Twitter. So really nothing has changed. And and that kind of just goes with like also supporting streamers as well. Like, if you're like a patron or a Twitch sub, or you donate to me, I understand the separation between that. Like, you are not donating or supporting me because you want to be friends with me. You are supporting me because you want to support your streamer. You want to support the content that they make. And that's like a separate can of worms with parasocial relationships as well. The reason why parasocial relationships are even worse with furries has to do with two things, which one relates to the other. The fictional sort of sense, the push for like creativity in fictional universes. So like fantasy fiction, like promotion of that, which is pretty normal with most of geek culture. And the other one which ties into it has to do a lot with the FURSONA aspect, which, you know, that's an entirely different can of worms, but people will like idolize and praise people for their fursuit outside of the person. That whole like mindset of just like wanting to see people's fursuits or wanting to know people for their fursuit is like, it's a feedback loop that adds on to that whole fucking issue of people being like, oh, I need a fursuit in order to get what I want, in order to make friends, in order to be a part of this fandom. That's just sort of the feedback loop that adds back into it. So it's a fucking bigger mess. So I don't even know where to tackle that issue. Maybe just talk about it. That's all I can really do. It's really weird. I have to do a lot more research on what makes parasocial relationships in order to come to a better conclusion about that, because there is several different things with it. It doesn't just mean like, you know, you enjoy a certain content creator, you enjoy their vibe, but also like going to support them. What does that mean behind it? What does it mean supporting them? What is the intention behind it? Is that an amplified parasocial relationship? It's a lot to sort of digest. I don't know, just keep a lot of what I said in mind.